Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. All right, we're going to jump right back in here. So I want to make sure we get all 18 in this time. All right, so retirees who continue to work, I mentioned about potential disincentives. Baby boomers getting divorced. This is another area. Oh, by the way, let me go back to this on the tax implications here. What they're talking about, if they're short already on assets, such as regular assets, savings, a retirement account assets, short on defined pension plans, maybe you're not going to have a pension or it's going to be a small one, Social Security benefits. These are areas basically that can cause people to, of course, return to the workplace or continue in the workplace. And yet, as we get older, there's some things that can make that more difficult. All right, health, of course, is one of those. Age discrimination, being able to keep or find a job, even increased preference for leisure. And again, the health limitations are one of the big ones that I see. People even that want to work, maybe the health isn't going to, declining health could keep them from being able to work or keep them from being able to be as productive in work. So these are some areas where in working through with people, determine what's a good time to retire. This is a part of it. It's a lot easier to work 2 or 3 extra years now than after 5 or 10 years out of the workforce to try to return to it. Okay, so when it comes to planning, understanding exactly what your options are and the importance of those decisions that you make today, how much better it can make your life, that's where it comes in. The things, if I can show you your financial future, if there are things there that you don't like, wouldn't you want to know it now when you can still do something about it? All right, doesn't that make sense? All right, I'm doing it again. First 10 callers to my office, 615-376-5325. Comprehensive financial plan. That's right, not just a consultation. If I meet with you, I'll meet with you 2 times, 3 times. It doesn't matter. I want you to have a plan. I want you to see what your financial future is going to look like and make the changes today that you need to make so that you have the future you want. All right? And so again, call the office, 615-376-5325. No charge for this. Debbie will get your information. She'll schedule you in. And again, when you come into the office, I'll also give you a copy of my book, again at no charge, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. Okay, back to it. Baby boomers. This was a shocking statistic as I got into this, right? Baby boomers keep getting divorced. This was fascinating and disturbing, I guess, in a way, and it's scary because of the implications. But failed marriages among people over 50 doubled from 1990 to 2010 over that 20-year period. All right. Now, in addition to that, the top 3 issues, what happens through divorce, right? You get into things like alimony, splitting of our retirement accounts, pensions, all of those things, business interests, rental properties, whatever it might be. This can also create some additional financial stressors and also understanding how to navigate that in such a way. I work with a lot of clients, and sometimes this is one of the areas that we work with clients in, is that they're facing divorce or going through divorce, and we're talking about how, in fact, to negotiate the best settlement so that they're going to be okay in their retirement years and get the best that they can. And this is one, sometimes in the frustration of wanting to divorce, a lot of that gets thrown out, right? I just want to get out and I'm not going to worry about it. And then they find themselves after the fact, it's too late, and they're in a financial stress when it comes to retirement. So they're going through this in a very methodical manner, all right, and having a plan and working together. This is where financially, again, when I'm working with people and going over their finances, I'm showing them, as these things divide, what they can do to get the most benefit and minimize taxes. This is one of those areas. It's amazing how people going through divorce end up paying a lot more in tax than they had to, simply because they didn't understand how the rules work. All right? This is the rising divorce rate is becoming a very consistent trend with baby boomer generation, and this goes according to an attorney group, a divorce attorney group, recommends couples in the over 50 age range who are divorcing immediately recognize that 2 households will often not be able to live at the same level as one. In other words, yes, it's going to be more expensive, right? And again, the planning for that comes into play. Another area, and I see this sometimes with clients, adult children derailing their parents' retirement because of the financial difficulties the kids are having, and the parents are trying to help them. They find that all of a sudden it's causing them to use up some of their retirement assets to try to help their kids, and it puts them in trouble then later down the road. One of the areas when I'm working with clients, again, we look at, I've got clients that want to help their kids, we just want to put it on a budget. Okay, what's the amount that you can afford to without jeopardizing your retirement to where you run out of money and then you're both in trouble? Okay, so there's a way, again, in the planning process. This is just one of the areas that we cover because it's a very real issue for many of my clients. All right, we're all worried about the election. Not enough of us are worried about saving for retirement, and that's the other part. The savings thing, when it comes to retirement, one of the biggest things, the biggest success things, all the other things I talk about and the risk of retirement are important. Saving is probably one of the key areas. Being able to save, being able to live on less than you make and put money aside each and every paycheck, that you've got money that's going aside, that you've got, you make sure you got enough to pay your bills, that you've got an emergency fund, and then that you've got a short-term fund and a long-term fund for retirement. Now, whether that's a 401k, 403b, 457, your TSP, thrift savings plan, whatever it might be that is available to you through work, you want to look at that. If you've got matching money available through your employer, definitely at least put in that amount, right? Take that free money, okay? That's huge. The next thing is that after that, you want to, again, get an assessment. How much, there's one common question, how much do I need to be saving? What percentage? Is it 5%, 10%, 20%? What's the right amount? And the answer, of course, is it differs according to the individual. It depends on your lifestyle. It depends on what, again, you have for income, what you're going to have for income in retirement. Are you going to have a pension, for instance? Social Security, how much are you going to get there? Do you have other assets, other business interests, rental properties, whatever it might be? All of that comes into play in terms of determining how much you need to save for retirement. Many small business owners, you're thinking you're building up all this, the big assets that you're going to be able to retire, and the money that you're going to get from either selling the business or someone else taking it over is going to be your retirement. I got to tell you, you still need to be saving for retirement because sometimes that doesn't always work, okay? The other part of saving for retirement then is when we do that analysis I do with clients, when we can figure that out. We can look at what you have for income and expenses today and assets and liabilities, and we can take a look in the future. We count in for inflation, we count in for taxes, and we can see the rate of return you're going to make on your investments, and we can see exactly what your financial picture is going to look like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years into the future, okay? It's a way to do it. There is a methodology for this. Understanding when it comes to retirement, okay, that the planning is, in doing the planning, once you have that comprehensive plan in place, okay, once we've gone through the analysis and we said, okay, now we know how to invest. Now we know this amount of money needs to go here. We look at that 401k and we do the asset allocation. We say, okay, this is how we're going to, within those options available to you in your 401k, I will help you determine that proper asset allocation mix to get the desired rate of return with the least amount of risk. All right? And then there's more, okay? And we're going to cover that more when we come back. But first, we're going to take a quick break, so join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.